All right. I didn't even have my microphone set up. Here we go. I just got up, just walked my dog. It is very early in the morning, but I had to make the commitment to like drag myself out of bed and talk about the Wheel of Time and the fact that it has been canceled. And so, not a fun way to wake up. Definitely not a fun way to go to sleep. I was actually editing my video for the Murderbot episodes on Apple TV, finished that. I had my phone off for probably 3 hours, came downstairs, got in bed, opened my phone. I'm looking every social media platform that I am tied to was just going crazy. And so that was not a fun way to try and get some sleep. I didn't sleep very much. I felt, though, that it was necessary to get up and talk about it. So this is me, very early, unscripted, unprepared, and as someone who likes to overplan and overthink, not not my forte, guys. So if I'm a little tired, a little sleepy, and the words aren't coming as fast as they normally would, this is why. So, yeah, first thing first, Wheel of Time canceled. It's sad and a little bit surprising, but also I feel like there was some writing on the wall that kind of made me very hesitant and very afraid for the future of the Wheel of Time. And as I was in bed last night, I was actually kind of scrolling and I had saw Taylor Napier, who plays Maxim, posted something on Blue Sky, like, "Don't bother with HBO, we are far too close to Game of Thrones for them, and it's not something that they do. Apple maybe?" And so, there's this whole question of will another platform pick it up? Personally, I'm feeling very pessimistic about that just because of how odd it is and how very uncommon it is for another series or platform to pick up a show that's been canceled. I can only think of a couple, something like Lucifer or The Expanse or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The Expanse having the biggest budget of all of those, and then even though it was picked up, it wasn't seen out to its book conclusion. So it ended in a spot that didn't finish the entire series. And so yeah, I'm feeling a little bit pessimistic about that. I know that there are people working on some fan campaigns and stuff like that. I don't know. Do we want to crowdfund a billboard outside of Apple Park in California? I mean, it's a possibility, but I think at this point in time, I'm just not feeling very optimistic. And it's sad, it's also bittersweet, but I don't really know what to say about it. The thing that I do think is very jarring and even more sad is how good season 3 of The Wheel of Time was, and on top of that, it still gets canceled because you cannot tell me, and I think all of the critics who have rated some of these shows in the past few years would be on my side here when I say, and also this is no hate to Rings of Power or House of the Dragon. Those 2 series, especially, the most recent series of both of those, the caliber of them is not as good as The Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time had a much higher critics rating than both of these series, and I enjoyed both of them. This is no hate to either. I could say some very Charlie, I forget his last name, that plays Sauron in Rings of Power, one of the best villains that we have seen in fantasy in a long time. And so, like, I do think there are moments where it's standing up and doing good things, but I think the issue here with why these shows get renewed and something like Wheel of Time doesn't is they're too big to fail. And I just read a news article about this a couple days ago. I can link it in the description, but it's essentially saying that a lot of these platforms, streaming platforms, are throwing all of their money into shows that will have people watching regardless if it's good or not. And so it's that IP recognition of coming out with a lot of fans starting out and then them becoming too big to fail because even though they're not as good, they're still getting the clicks, still getting the views. And with the Wheel of Time, it did really well its first season. And then there was all of these unforeseen things like the pandemic, like main character leaving in season one, having to reshoot things, having to rewrite things, and then the writer's strike in season two. Also in season two, they were filming during COVID. So they had a lot going against it. But House of the Dragon, eh, it's alright. Like, I'll watch it, but you can't tell me that there was any episode of House of the Dragon that is as good as episode 4, The Road to the Spear of season 3 of The Wheel of Time, and I think that will go down if I can be completely honest here. I'm feeling like, I'm feeling a little vulnerable, like I said, unscripted, unprepared, but The Road to the Spear was hands down one of the best written, directed, filmed episodes of television for me that I have seen in a very long time. And it's not just because I love The Wheel of Time, it's because it is a type of story that has to be condensed into a 60-minute episode of television that is encompassing so much. And talking to Andy Scrace, the VFX supervisor, talking to Andre Nekvasil, the production designer, talking to Thomas Napper, the director for that episode, it becomes very, very clear how much of a Herculean task it was to actually get this filmed. And I'm not going to tell the whole story. I'm not going to share the whole story because you can watch those episodes on my channel with the exception of the interview with Andre Nekvasil, because that, my friends, is held up in YouTube purgatory due to a copyright claim because I used some video of the actual episode in there. And so I'm still waiting for that to be able to be released to everyone. I do have it up on Patreon because I can do that over there. They're not going to copyright claim me, but hopefully that comes out very soon and you can actually hear words from him talking about how hard it was to pull all of that off. And also maybe it might be a little bit cathartic because Andre is such an amazing person. I was actually emailing with him last night. He emailed me like, "Oh, it's canceled." And so if he's watching, if anyone from the show, anyone from cast and crew is watching, just, you've got my sympathy, man. This sucks, but also so much work has been put into this and it is very disheartening seeing the show get axed like that. So it is what it is. I just hope people are able to move on and find more work that they love. And I don't think it's gonna get picked up by Apple, but who knows? Crazier things have happened. So I'm not discounting that. But also the other thing that I wanted to talk about is what does this mean for my channel? Because I am a content creator that covers a lot of the Wheel of Time. And so this actually doesn't change a lot for me because if you're willing to sit through a little bit of Road to Tarvalon history right now, it started out as a podcast, and my podcasting partner was really into a bunch of different things. Tracy, if you're listening, hello. I hope you're well. She was wanting to start other podcasts and had a lot of creative ideas that she wanted to do for herself. I kind of saw the writing on the wall and thought, okay, I need to set up an outlet for myself so that I can creatively explore things I enjoy in the event that the podcast ends. And that's what happened when she went back to school. And so I started putting out content on all of these other shows and series that I was into and enjoying. And a lot of them are adaptations. Most of them are adaptations from the books that I've read. So if you are a fan of the channel, you will definitely see me continuing to put out reviews and discussions and breakdowns of other series that I really like. So when I started the channel, that was set up by design because I didn't want to put all of my eggs in one basket, especially in this day and age when so many things in terms of television just get axed. And so I wanted to prepare myself way back when, I don't know, probably 4 years ago when I first started putting out YouTube videos. And that's what happened. And so it doesn't change a lot for my channel besides the fact that I'll just have more time to continue talking about different books that I like, different television adaptations, different shows, different films, etc. But on that side, um, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be talking about the Wheel of Time because I do have a podcast channel set up on my YouTube channel called Meanwhile Elsewhere, where my co host Laura is actually reading the Wheel of Time books right now. And to be frank, she is barreling through the series. And so when Murderbot ends, which is what we are currently covering, we're going to go back to the books, and you will definitely be continuing to see book talk and discussions on Wheel of Time, books and chapters, etc. So I'm not going to stop talking about the Wheel of Time because that's not an option right now, and I still, like, really enjoy the books and the series as a whole, but it just means that you're gonna see more other stuff from me, and on one hand, yeah, it's bittersweet, but it's also a little bit exciting because we don't know what's gonna happen, and it could be really great things, maybe a surprise pickup by another, platform, but, maybe not. And so I don't think that it's going to, but I'm hopeful and we will see. We will see. Who can say, right? Who can say? I just oh god, like this is not what I wanted to be doing this morning and I feel like I look like I just got out of bed, which I really did. And so I think I'm going to leave it there for now and if you got any thoughts, if you want to send me some recommendations on stuff, I will say that one of my favorite things about my YouTube channel is with season 3, getting to interact with all of the people in my comment sections, and then afterwards, seeing a lot of these people who haven't read the books join my Discord server because they started reading the books, and then getting to have more conversations with them there. So it's very cool. And if you are someone who uses Discord, check it out because I think right now there's a couple people, Freya, if you're watching, girl, she is on a mission and she is tearing up the series. It is so fun getting to hear from people who come from the show to the books because their takes and their observations are so different than the people who have grown up reading the books. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm sad, but we will see. It's not the end of the world. And maybe, as things progress, time progresses, maybe there will be some new news. And of course, if there is any news, I will always be covering it on the channel. And so I hope everybody's having a good Saturday morning. And I've got some stuff to do before this goes out. So it'll be out shortly. So yeah, like and subscribe. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is okay. And we will see what happens. So, with that, have a good one.